Hello, welcome to Sowing Tarot. Today I want to do a video journal on some dream work. I recently had a very interesting dream, so I like to do some tarot card pulls to get into the bottom of it and maybe have a deeper exploration on what's the meaning, what's the message that's coming through from this dream. I will be using the hash tarot, and the way I do dream work is that I will flip through the cards, actually looking at all the images, and I will pick up the card image that reflects on what I saw in the dream, especially the key elements in the dream. So I will be flipping through all of them, and I will pick up a few cards, and I will talk through what they represent in the dream, and we can go from there. Okay, so here are the cards I picked up that represents a key points of the dream. And I wanted to go through them and kind of explain what they each represents. So the first one is Page of Pentacle. This represents the starting of the dream and kind of the main journey of the dream. So the dream, in my memory, started as a guided shamanic journey. So dream me was listening to some type of audio and going into this guided shamanic journey, and the Page of Pentacle really represents this starting a new journey. And also this journey felt very lush to me and definitely felt a lot of connection to nature, connection to the groundedness of the pentacles. And she is a very lush figure with all the things that she already holds, but she also have the spirit of exploration. So that's why I picked her as the first representation. Okay, and then the second one is the Queen of Pentacles. So this one represents the key object of the dream, which is a white dress. So at the beginning of my shamanic journey in the dream, I was told to imagine a white dress. Imagine the texture of the white dress, the structure of the white dress, and imagine wrapping it into a gift box. And then I was asked to open it in the end of the journey. So I picked this Queen of Pentacles to represent this white dress because it kind of looks like how I imagined it in the dream. And also it has this tie to the spirituality to it that I really like. And so yeah, I picked her as the second card to represent my dream. And the third card I picked to represent my dream is the Magician. And I picked this card because in the dream, during the shamanic journey, I was somehow gaining a lot of power, in which I think being represented very well in the Magician. And also it's kind of like a half lucid dream. So in the dream, I was able to manipulate the environment a little bit. That also is represented in the Magician. So I don't remember a lot of the details of the dream, but I do remember being able to change the creatures in the dream and being able to manipulate them, telling them to do things as I want them to do. And another part is because this Magician has a connection both to the human world and the animals and also the spiritual world, especially these like very powerful spiritual, almost monster looking things. The reason I think that's a representation of this dream is because in the end of the dream, after I'm out of that shamanic journey, I remember myself sitting at home reading a book, and that's a book actually about that journey and about myself. And in that book, I was actually being represented as a super powerful demon, a monster. So I saw myself in this book being slayed by the gods. What's interesting is that I don't really have any emotions tied to it. I was just reading it, knowing that's part of my life's journey and during that shamanic experience, and that's what I'm supposed to do, becoming a monster and being slayed. So all of that just reminds me of this Magician card, so I picked her as the representation of the dream. And the last card I picked as the representation is the Wheel. And this one is because of a message I heard in the dream. So the message I heard before I woke up or before I woke up from the dream, is that someone was telling me that magic or using magic or having a spiritual experience is like dipping into the water. You got all soaked, you got out, and the water is still the water, and the ocean is still the ocean. So that sentence definitely stuck into my head. And that's kind of like the whole reason I find it being a super interesting dream and wanted to do a dream work on it. And I think this wheel card represents it really well. We can see water here, and we can see this creature balancing in the center of it, and it's kind of describing this scene of whatever you do, all you can do is really just centering yourself. The wheel just keep turning, the water keep turning, they never change for you, and all you can do is guide and guard yourself. Okay, so those are the 4 cards I picked for myself, and I wanted to put them here and read them with their tarot meanings, and see if I can get a full message out of them. Okay, so here what I can see is that very obviously, first thing that comes to my mind is that I am going to be starting something new. I'm going to be going into a new adventure, a new journey through this Page of Pentacles. It's going to be a journey that is very grounded, a journey that's based on real life experience. So I will be experiencing something real, something material, something that's a lived experience rather than just something in my mind or in my heart or about feelings, right? So I will be going on a journey that is real in a physical sense. And during this journey, I was reminded by this Queen of Pentacles that I should always first focus on caring for myself. So Queen of Pentacles in my mind is a very nurturing, self-caring character. So never forget to care for myself during this new journey, and also always being reminded of the past experience I already have, because Queen of Pentacles is a very abundant figure, and she's telling me that I also have abundance within me. I'm not going into this journey completely empty. I already have past experience. I already have many things I worked hard for, and I already have. So I should always reflect back on them. If I ever got stuck on this journey, and if I ever felt lost, I should always reflect back on what I already have and back on self-care. And then the Magician is telling me that during this journey, I will gain the power to create, like the Magician, to create my reality. So the Magician to me is a willpower card, and it kind of reflects back on the dream, where, I gained the power, I was able to manipulate the environment, but eventually I was slayed as a demon, as a monster. So it kind of talks about, I think, the double-sidedness of willpower, the double-sidedness of the intellect, the ego, where it can push you and make you go through a lot of things, make you push through a lot of things and make a lot of things happen if you have strong will on them. But it also eats you from the inside sometimes. Sometimes it's the demon within you where you feel like you have to control everything, right? So this journey might be teaching me a balance between those two. And that is also reflected on this wheel card, because the wheel card to me is the ultimate card of letting go, or understanding that you don't control everything in the universe. You just simply cannot. The ocean is still the ocean, whatever you do to it, however you experiencing it. And the wheel is still the wheel. It's going to keep turning. All you can do is center yourself through the whole journey. Okay, so I think that's a pretty interesting reading, and I do definitely understand it due to the circumstances and what's happening in real life. It makes a lot of sense. And I think the heavy focus is on the balance of the will. I mean, the will, the self, the will power part, and the will of nature, and the will of the universe. So how do you balance yourself, your ego, your own willingness to control, and also the events that's happening around you? This is where I feel like it's very accurate to get the last card that we have. And this is from the Lantern Oracle. And this is a card I drawn for this reading to tie them together and to see what's the last message I can get from my higher self to reflect on, to tie all the images together. And I got confusion. Confusion has been my stalker card ever since I got the Lantern Oracle. I would say at least like 3 out of 5 times this card comes up, and it says, growth hurts, heals, and harness a way through the uncertainty. So it's definitely telling me this is a journey that I'm going through that's gonna create a lot of uncertain moments, but expansion and growth come from it. And being able to embrace the uncertainty, being able to stay into the center of the wheel, being able to balance my ego, my willpower, and the uncertainty of the universe is eventually going to create the growth and expansion that I'm supposed to gain from this journey. So yeah, that's everything, and I think it's a pretty fun experience, and I definitely enjoyed sharing this with you guys, and hopefully it is a fun thing to watch as well. And this is kind of how I do dream work in general. Some of the cards I just pull them out based on the image, and some of the cards I actually draw on it from oracles and from different sources, trying to interpret it and tie everything together. And I hope you enjoy it, and hope you're having a great day. I will see you again soon. Bye.